Quattro. We are the three
amigos.
There are two
more motherfuckers.
One ring to rule them all. And welcome, everyone. Let's rock! I forgot to let's rock. Yeah. Yes, I love you, Ian. Welcome, everyone, Talking Tremors. I am your host, Levi Dylan Burzloff. You don't give a shit about me. Who cares? You watch me all the time. I am here with Ian Ius. God, you've told me it before. I'll let you say it. I'm here with Ian. Last name
that's good. That's good.
From Fermented Cinema, and
yes.
we're gonna talk about everyone's favorite movie, Denis Villeneuve's Dune. So, Ian, who are you? What the fuck are you doing here? Just take it, baby. Hit me.
Well, I woke up this morning and I didn't realize who I was, but I've been piecing all these clues together. So I got cameras, and I realized I got a few computers. So I'm obviously someone who does YouTube videos. I figured this out. I'm putting this together. Yes. And these YouTube videos are centered around movies, I believe, because I found some film paraphernalia, here and there in my room.
Oh man, that was
yes.
Good,
so yeah, my channel is just all a celebration of movies, movie reviews, cartoons. I got animated series, little comedy skits. Every now and then, a little bit of contemporary commentary on Hollywood and stuff, but mostly just about celebrating stuff we like, stuff that's fun. Yeah, so that'd be my channel. And also, I hold no punches. Everybody on my channel gets made fun of, so just buckle up for that.
I watched your Mrs. Doubtfire because I was like, I've listened to your lives or whatever, so I was going through and I was trying to watch your short videos, which actually I like your short form content. Like I just like it. I can tell you're a great writer, and like you're planning and everything, and like
I got my pages. I got hundreds of pages of scripts and stuff I've done. Yeah,
I get it. And your Mrs. Doubtfire one with the modern day one, and then the triggered meltdown between right and far left, and I was like, I love the concept, but I was just sitting there like, oh my god.
You can see how that one pleases nobody.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't please me. Like conceptually, I was like, I mean, I get it. I just want out of this so fucking bad. Like, it's just like I hate this. I hate all of it. It's not your fault. It's just more the state of the world.
It's the state of society. Yeah, it just sucks.
I hate all of this. And yeah, like that was. That's why I like Ian. Is everybody's fair game when it comes to that.
Yes.
And there's a better kindness to that. Yes. It's okay. Well, that's it. And I wouldn't even say like that's the what they say. Oh, people are brutally honest. And I'm like, sometimes that's not always like the best way to throw it. Brutally honest isn't really honest. Sometimes you're just being mean to like take that take. The true honesty is the kindness of like, hey, okay, like this sucks, you suck, we suck, everybody sucks.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of it. Yeah, I suck. Oh yeah. As we were, so everybody knows, like we had like it's like 6:25, and this was supposed to start at 6 because I should have. And Ian was right. I should have just started it where like I had major technical difficulties.
We had some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, but they were interesting. That's actually a good comedy skit.
It was good. I know what I'm doing. Everything's fine. I'm gonna hold my olives in my pen. Everything's good. I'm so good. But it was really bad. And like
just sitting here petting my ET. Oh my god.
Hey, everybody. It's so cute. I know.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's my fault. It's not Ian's fault. It's my fault. Yeah. So before we go, pronounce your last name for me.
Oh god.
Right now. Right. So I always have like a soundbite in my head.
So there's kind of there's two roads you can go down on this one.
Fuck.
So my heritage, believe it or not, is Italian. So my last name is either pronounced Ius, which is like the traditional Latin pronunciation of it, or it is now anglified as Ius. So Ius or Ius, either are okay. And here in Japan, it's Ayasu.
That's 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes, because I am in Japan, ladies and gentlemen. I live in Japan. So just let you know.
My god. That's, you know what? And you said 3 of them, and now my brain is like, I don't know which one. So it's just Ian. I was like, I like people's last names, but you, and it's only 3 letters. It's IUS, people, just so everybody knows. And I'm just sitting here like, no. Oh, is there a small child going to come in? That's okay.
A shrieker just came in. He's so done. Hey, buddy. Okay. There's a monster on there. Cool, eh? Right. So no Cha-Cha in here? Oh, there's Cha-Cha.
No, but this one is new Cha-Cha.
Oh, yeah, it's new. Yeah, it's new Cha-Cha. That's right. See you, buddy.
Oh my god, I love
So sorry. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god, I love that!
So,
okay, what's Cha-Cha?
I was just going to say Cha-Cha is wheat tea. So kids here in Japan, it's no caffeine in it. It's just it's wheat tea. So kids here in Japan, they all drink tea. Yeah, that's like their, yeah. And he was just asking if that was new Cha-Cha or Cha-Cha or tea from last night. I'm like, no, it's new stuff. I prepared it this morning because I knew it was going to be on the show. So I got all your breakfast prepared. It's all ready to go.
Oh, God. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm okay. Thanks. I love you here, Chris. I'm afraid to move 3 blocks away because I don't want to walk too far to the pizzeria. Good for you. All right.
Oh my god. Well, does your pizzeria deliver all the way to Japan?
I mean,
where's the cutoff?
I feel like, I wonder if you could actually call another country and just have pizza delivered to people.
If you were an insane eccentric billionaire, you're like, I want pizza from my favorite pizza shop in Wyoming or something, and be like, okay, how quickly can you get that pizza on the private jet and have it flown over to my place? And
it's still gotta be hot. It's gonna be hot.
Still have to be hot. I'm not paying if it's not hot. It's got to be.
And a take and bake don't count. There's something about that pizza oven pizza, man. Like I said,
no, exactly.
Although I imagine if you're a billionaire, you could buy a pizza oven.
You have your own pizzeria. You just have your own pizzeria. In fact, you would just fly the staff over to come make you a pizza. That's what you would do.
So if you didn't notice, everybody that's actually watching the show, out of the 2 people that seem to be in the chat or will watch later, we don't give a shit. It's called Talking Tremors. So 50% of it's Tremors, and then the other 50% is whatever the fuck I want it to be.
Meanders in and out. It'll just meander in and out.
It's the frame. You gotta have your framework, and then there's all this inside of it. And that's oh my god, that's why I'm just really happy to have Ian here. And I do have questions for you, and we'll
let's
get to the
questions
stuff. It's just freewheeling and I'm just really excited to fuck around. I haven't fucked around in a while, so that's where I'm at.
Do the mess around. Do the mess around. Need to be John Candy driving the car. Yeah.
All right, Levi, you can do this. You're focused and you're actually a real podcaster.
Concentrate.
Yeah. Because I have questions, but I'm like, wait, but I need to introduce this person. And it's like, I feel like I have introduced. I'm going through the mental checklist here, and it's like, I guess okay. I know what's tripping me up. Is because we've talked on. So as context, there it is. Here we go.
Yes.
Is that I've known Ian for a while now. I met Ian because of his Tremors 2 review, his fermented reviews.
Yes. That's my first video you watched.
Yeah, which was less than glowing. Let's just say that.
It wasn't.
I disagreed.
It's not a bad review though. It's not a bad review.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's just I have a special. I love Tremors 2 so much, but but it was just funny. That's why I like your short form videos. Is just because you got your little the
puppet. Yeah. But Budget
McPuppet. Call him a name. Yeah. And just fucking around, and it's just funny and dumb and having a good time with the reviews. And then met Ian. We've been talking about Tremors. I had flip it, Levi. I was on Ian's show. Ian had me on his show.
Came on. We talked Tremors 2. Yeah, it was fun to have you on for that. I loved it.
And Troll 2, which I will never watch.
Yes.
That's good. Although, you had 2 reviews for Battle Truck and Screamers that I instantly, while I was watching your reviews today, I was like, so we're gonna download these motherfuckers. These like,
oh man, I hope you like the Battle Truck review. I had a good time making that one.
That was, dude, man, that was awesome. Like that's what, and just so everybody knows, that's like I love Ian's point of view. He's a great editor, great animator, great writer. Because he'll take what is just a solid, it was like about an 8-minute review for Battle Truck and just make it funny. And God damn, and what kept getting me was actually all the Lord of the Rings cuts.
Yes.
Like back, I was just like, son of a bitch, like because it's stupidly simple how it is as an editor. Just like you're taking the one shot and then cutting it.
Yeah,
but with the music in the background, I was like, this is so good. I gotta watch Battle Truck. I gotta fucking watch Battle Truck.
It's good. It's good. I recommend everyone out there watch Battle Truck and watch the review for Battle Truck. Yes.
Yes. If you haven't realized it, Ian has a channel called Fermented Cinema where please and go and do that. Oh, and Ian, will you be reviewing the others Tremors? Because 4 was really bad. Yes,
Chris, I'm writing a script right now. Now I will say, unfortunately, I can't pump videos out too quickly just because I got family life and I'm working like several jobs. So I'm able to get like 2 or 3 out a month at best. And this Tremors 4 review is in the lineup. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of spice it up. It's going to start out as a normal review, but then I'm thinking it's going to go more into how Tremors 4 and also the first Tremors are like the perfect textbook example on how to have natural diversity on film. And it's just, and where it works and everything feels like nothing's forced. It's 100% natural. And it's like a really good, and not just diversity as in just ethnicity, but also diversity in lifestyles and opinions. And they all work together in a positive way, which I really like about those movies.
That was actually because I made a video on this channel like a year or almost 2 years ago called Tremors was woke in the past tense. And 4 is like, it was 1 and 4 of just like these examples of like highly diverse cast, highly diverse thought, and being all of these things while being incredibly natural in its wokeness.
Yes, and not like because like not to go on a random thing, but like some studios, Disney, are very unnatural and forced in their approach, and it comes off cringy. You're like, oh no.
Whoa, I just got a copyright strike. What the hell was that? What happened there? That's super weird. No, I'm just kidding because you said Disney.
You got me. I was going to say, no, Disney doesn't get you with a copyright strike. The mouse burst through your ceiling.
Universal coming for you, kids.
Down.
Listen, you don't get to talk about my movies like that. All right, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna beat up your. Oh shit, that's an impression. All right, I'm gonna get you. First olive of the night. Here we go.
Yeah. So Tremors is like A+, just how you do it, and I just love it. So I'm gonna totally make that. Yeah.
And then actually, Chris said, I like it. I've always felt that the Tremor saga in general, particularly the TV show, did a great job with the natural diversity you are alluding to. And yes. Ian hasn't seen the TV show. This is
it's been on my list. Okay, I gotta say, I'm from the 1980s, 1990s generation where when a good movie series went to a TV show format, because I also love Terminator, and I've also never seen the Sarah Connor Chronicles. I had that bias. I'm like, oh, the TV show version, it's going to be hokey and terrible. So I never watched the TV show versions, and I've been trying to get over that bias. and I gotta watch the Tremors TV show and the Sarah Connor Chronicles are both on my watch list now. Yeah.
Actually,
exactly, Chris. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I love about it, because you got everything from like Burt Gummer to a college student, right? Yeah, and it's just like in Wanda, right? So it's like perfect. Yeah, and of course the fourth one, you got like city socialite coming together with like Chinese migrants and stuff, and they all work together, and they don't hate each other either. They all that's what I love about it, right? And
well,
a little poking and prodding.
They do kind of hate each other. Like there's a good there's
but
the tension there.
There's tension at the start, but at the end, I love it's just it's a very positive feeling, and I love it.
Yeah.
And,
there's two what I always consider like really epic moments in all of actually three, because you include the rec room scene in that. But there's the pole vault scene, which is that like the pole vault scene is really epic and swelly and fun. And then there's the rec room scene of just like, oh yeah, these culmination, and then it's Hiram Gummer coming back to town on his like wagon, and it's like the music swelling, and everyone's like, "It's Mr. Gummer!" It's like, yeah, it's Mr. Gummer.
I love that. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
That's like a tear moment. It was great.
Yeah. And it's naturally built like inside of the story. It's not forced. It's definitely like, oh, yes, here we go. This is that moment. And
it was a well-written character arc. It was like a well-paced out. It didn't come out of nowhere. It's fantastic. Yeah, and you brought the rec room scene, of course. The best pullback reveal gag in history cinema is the rec room scene when it pulls back and shows his wall of guns. I'm never not going to laugh when I see that and think about that. It's just so
every time.
It's so time. Perfect. Yeah.
And it's for me, it's like having like learned more and more about Tremors and everything, like doing this podcast, that pullback never hit me until like recently, like really? As a like structural thing, like because watching it as a kid, it's just like I guess my mind just makes the assumption, also probably because I watched Tremors 2 first, that like, oh yeah, Burt Gummer probably has a bunch of guns or whatever.
Yeah.
The joke of that never landed, because I'm always just like, I mean, yeah, duh.
Of course, that's Burt. Yeah.
He's got fucking guns. But then you actually like look at the movie itself, take myself out of it and look at it objectively, and you're like, no, that pan to the fucking guns is like, holy shit. Wait, what?
Yeah, because like how you meet Burt's like, oh, okay, he's a gun guy, he's a gun enthusiast, but you don't know just how extreme he is into it until that pullback, and you're like, oh my god.
Well, you gotta say, it's definitely not just Burt too, because like that's also Heather's house, and she takes some of the guns in the divorce.
She's so great.
So it's like this married couple is incredibly intense when it comes to holy shit.
They must have the best barbecues.
Oh yeah, I bet. Hello, Johnny Harmonic Muhahaha. I love the evil laugh. Now I'm terrified. But anyway, like I said, like that's was on Ian's show talking about Tremors 2. That's where this tangent started. I can't believe that's how far we went.
Pull it back.
I get it. I'm good at this. And did that, and honestly, I've been wanting to have Ian on the show. Oh, what's up, Daphne? Wanted to have Ian on the show for a while now, so this is finally.
Hello.
If you don't realize it, Ian's in Japan, and actually, this is going to be my first question. So, you lived in I was going to say Canada. Oh my god, you were born and raised, I assume, in Canada, and then moved to Japan. I'm going to sit back and just drink my olives and eat my coffee. Just take us through that. How does someone go from Canada to Japan? What's your life?
Please sit down, listeners. Sit down and enjoy as I spin a tale as old as time. Yes. Hello, Johnny. Please enjoy. So, born and raised in Western Canada, so BC. So I'm in the mountain country, and we also do have graboid country. I've even showed you before. It's the desert landscape, the sage. So I've been right there in graboid country my whole life, and yeah, I've always been fascinated with Japan, Japanese culture and stuff. I've actually never been like a manga or anime nerd, but I just find Japanese culture interesting, and also, of course, growing up in the 80s, the few things I did see, especially in like movies like from Blade Runner, is like a good example of this, is Japan was like seen as like kind of like the future, right? And it had that weird tech noir feel, and like it just looks so amazing with the big billboards and the bright lights and the street canyons that went on forever, the city canyon streets. So I just became so fascinated with it. It was like, man, Japan is like the Fifth Element or Blade Runner in real life. I just can't wait to get there. And of course, that's like thinking as a kid from like, the late 80s and 90s. And then as I got older, so I just decided one day, like things are just kind of ho-humming along back in Canada. I was like, you know what, let's do it. Let's go to Japan. So 11 years ago, found a job, moved to Japan, and I've been here ever since. So it's been a while now. Time goes by super fast. Or as in Japanese, 日本に引っ越してから時間めっちゃ早く経ちました. Time has moved very fast since I've moved to Japan.
Everybody wrote that down, right? We all wrote that.
Yes. There's a quiz on this. And actually, on my live streams, which I do about twice a month, I also introduce a Japanese word. One Japanese word to relate with every movie. Yeah. So you got to take a note, and there will be quizzes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
I should probably have them written down too. I know I have them written down somewhere in my notes. No, because I write them down, and I'm like now realizing, I should have gone back and. I do prep work. I totally do prep work for this podcast.
Excellent.
It's a thing. But no, continue. I'm sorry. Yeah. He does do one for every stream. It's very cool.
Yes. John, I agree. I love The Fifth Element. Yeah, it's up there with Tremors, Jurassic Park, Terminator. That's like, but the 80s and the 90s like were the golden age of sci-fi, kind of like that science fiction realm of cinema. Everything from like sci-fi horror to sci-fi comedy to straight sci-fi. It was just wonderful time. It's like, because it was like the peak of practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
And just before everything became super watered down, like, we can just throw before everything became Asylum. It's like we can just throw it together with a bunch of cheap CG. Yeah. Like you watch like a good canon B movie and it's all practical, real explosions. You're like, I love it. To like an Asylum B movie, it's like, it's just all super fake, no texture CG. Oh, yeah.
You can feel it. Well, and ironically, because we're here talking about Tremors, in my researching and everything that I've been doing, that's the movie. Like Jurassic Park and Tremors are like, these are the two movies that stand on either edge of that divide.
That divide.
Tremors is the last like fully practical film. There's that one blue. It's not green screen. It's a blue screen shot in the rec room, like where you see
I thought that was a rear screen projection. Wasn't that rear screen projection?
It's blue screen.
No? Okay.
Because everybody assumes it's green. I've looked it up. I got a whole book on this, Ian. I have looked it up.
I trust you.
No. But otherwise, it's like it is full practical, and then on the other edge is not that Jurassic Park doesn't have practical in it. It's just that's the I was going to say emergence. The emergence of CGI.
We'll make that a word.
I was going to say burgeoning and then emergence, and I went with emergence.
I'm going at Webster right now. Is that in the dictionary?
Emergence. It's a real word. I saw it. I read it. But they do. They sit right here, and it's always funny to me knowing the history, because I've sent this to you too, how Spielberg and the Stampede team actually have worked together for like a really long time. Kind of like their call and response and being like, oh my God, you guys are like the reason that this all happened back here. And it's just like, it's really fascinating in the end. And then actually it's the death of Jim Henson. Watching the Ninja Turtle movie the other day, I realized when Jim Henson died, which was 1990, which is Tremors came out in 1990. Like that was all practical. Just went bye-bye, and we started doing other things. So,
yeah, that same year was the same year that Tremors came out was also Total Recall, and that was also like the last like 99% practical effects film too. So it's
then it starts 50-50 in, and then growing from there. But that another side tangent. So Ian's growing up in the 80s and 90s with all these practical movies, wanting to go to Japan, and then you get there. So what are you doing? What's your life? What are you living?
What's funny about when you're actually in Japan is everyone always says like Japan's so technological, it's such the future. Is like Japan is literally the analog future still. Japan is literally the future envisioned in 1988. That is Japan. It's hilarious. Because it's like, they build robots and they do all like, there's this weird funky stuff everywhere and there's lights and animation everywhere, but they also still use fax machines. And it's like everything is still like analog. You're like, what's going on here? Like, it's so hilarious. It's just this bizarre mix of like old technology and super advanced technology. And I'm just been teaching here as my main job. So teaching at schools, and it's been a lot of fun and stuff. And I got my family here now, of course, 2 kids, so 2 shriekers. I got 2 little shriekers, and oh my God, they can shriek. I tell you, yes. Just not as cute as that.
I make my shriekers kiss. I hope you don't make your shriekers kiss. So.
No. No incestual shriekers in this household.
I feel like all shriekers are incestual, but that's a conversation that's not on stream. That'll get really good.
It does.
Oopsie. I killed him.
Right. I do gotta ask. How do you know what system they use in the prisons? I gotta ask him that. Oh my God.
I'll pull it up too, so everybody see. Yes, it's true. Johnny Harmonic said, "I'm saying I got to repeat things because the podcast format of this. I'm in Texas, and they still use DOS/BASIC in their prison systems. And yes, as Ian said, how do you know that?
That's a very valid question, I think, on my part.
I worked there for 9 years. Holy shit!
Oh my goodness! Oh wow! Were you their programmer? Playing lemons on DOS.
I was hoping for a better story than that.
I was trying to break into their system to free my friends. That's what I was expecting to hear.
I hacked this Excel spreadsheet. Here we go. Let's roll.
All right.
So what do you actually teach in Japan then? Like that was my own.
Tremors theology and
I mean, there's a lot of tremors there, but not the kind I want.
Well, there's a lot of alluvial soil here in Japan, so you got to be careful. Yes.
Yeah.
An adult babysitter. Yes. My brother-in-law worked at a corrections facility for about 5 years. Yeah, he said it was the same thing. It was like it's exactly the same being an adult babysitter.
Well, teacher, correctional officer, these are like just the same jobs.
Really not that much difference. Yeah. You're dealing with a bunch of undisciplined
oversized babies.
Oversized babies. And then we all eat the same meal. So that's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. This is getting dark. So Ian, how did you first watch Tremors? Like, what was your introduction? Like, take us through your world.
So I'm born in 85. Tremors came out in 1990, so I'm 5 years old. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it in the theater. But my brother is about 5 years older than me, and his friend, this is like maybe like a 91, he had Tremors on VHS, and he brought it to our house to watch. So I sat down with my brother and his friend and watched Tremors, and I simultaneously, because I'm 6 years old, absolutely loved the film and was scared to death of it. So I loved it and was freaked out. And we lived in the countryside on a little kind of hobby farm, but we were up on kind of a mountain. And I was scared to walk outside, but my dad assured me that where we live, the bedrock is very close to the surface. So I literally went outside with like the Johnson bar and like hitting into the ground. I was like, oh yeah, it's only about, the soil is only about this deep. So then we hit the bedrock. Oh, okay, good. Whew. It's all residual around here, so there's going to be no graboids swimming through this soil. So I was like, oh god, I was so relieved, and I could watch Tremors. And then every time my brother's friend came up, I asked him to bring the V8, the tape. Of course, I just go watch it by myself while my brother and his friend are doing something. And then my neighbor, they had a double VCR, and this was something amazing back then. So you could copy the tape, right? So I got the bootleg version of Tremors for a while until I finally saved up enough. Chris, my allowance was pretty much penance. This is like shillings essentially, and but I finally was able to get enough to buy my own copy of Tremors. So then I got my own VHS copy, watched the hell out of that. I think like Bert's rec room scene actually got to the point where, like, when you rewind a VHS too many times and you get that starts getting scratchy on that part. So definitely got that. And then when the DVDs came out, I got the Attack Pack, which was like the first 4 Tremor films, which you're gonna pull out right now. Yeah,
because it's just a great name.
Attack. Yeah, it is so great. It's the Attack Pack. Mine's right here in the closet. Yeah, the Tremors Attack Pack. Yeah. One sec, let me see if I can. Oh god.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta have these things as props. I mean, I have a whole show about this. Like, it's like, yeah, that's there. I mean, that's again why I make my streakers kiss. Like, there's like, I got, I love you. You're so cute. Mommy, so bad. Man, I'm gonna eat you. No, I'm gonna eat you out. Man. We're asexual hermaphrodites. We don't have gender. Oh, I'm gonna take you for a nice Mexican dinner. Oh my god, I can't believe I've never made that joke before. Like, that's. Yeah, I will. We're gonna
there we go.
A lot of Jose's. Thank God he came back.
There we are.
Yeah. At the same time. Yeah.
Attack
Pack. It's one of those things too where I'm always like, why don't they just call every single other Tremors collection after this an Attack Pack? I don't know. Like, that's from a marketing standpoint, I would always.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
it looks like I mixed up my discs.
Is that Showgirls? Or
Seinfeld?
Oh.
That means my other Attack Pack disc must be in the Seinfeld.
Man, that is a great, like, mix-up to have. Jerry, like I'm telling you, I saw the Ass Blaster on 3rd Avenue. It was coming at me. I don't watch enough Seinfeld to do voices for that.
George, but here's the thing. There are no ass blasters in New York.
Well, I saw one. It came right up on my car and was humping it like a mother humper. That definitely. That's why the olives are here for all the impressions.
What's funny about this is, obviously, I moved to Japan. I had a big DVD collection back home, so I had to choose. Moving to Japan's expensive, right? Like packing up boxes, put them on a ship, and send them over here. So I picked my top tier DVDs to bring to Japan with me. Yes, and of course, Tremors was on that list. Tremors, my Seinfeld DVDs. I think Terminator 1 and 2, the Jurassic Park series, and and the Alien series. I think were like pretty much what came. Yeah.
Wow.
So, a great honor.
About that. That would be
great honor for Tremors to make it over the sea to Japan.
So I had this was a question that I had later on, but it's perfect for right now. So what's your fall asleep TV show?
Fall asleep TV show. Oh my god. It varies. Seinfeld is probably my number one for that. I absolutely love Seinfeld. Yeah. After that, I'm always first 7 seasons of Family Guy I've always loved.
Oh,
First 10 seasons of Simpsons I love. And South Park sometimes, which is always good. And South Park's still good. The I'd say season 3 to 10 is probably their best window, but it's never really dipped like Simpsons has or something like that. Then sometimes Star Trek, Trek. In particular, TNG and DS9.
Yeah,
I love DS9. Yeah, me too. That's my favorite Star Trek.
We said that at the same time.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's my favorite. I'm actually rewatching that right now. I'm actually just on season 7 right now. I did a rewatch on Netflix. Yeah. So yeah, I got a few TV series that are just my staples. Yeah.
Well, it was a good, like, we hit the Seinfeld thing. Like I had a friend a while back said that horoscopes are stupid, but a better metric of how someone feels or you might be connected to is what movies and TV shows you watch. And that was where, like, that's why I like, what's your fall asleep TV show or what's your comfort movie? Like, these connect us more than stars in the sky. That's my.
It's true. Man, and comfort movies. Comfort movies right here. This is a comfort movie right here.
Yeah. Well, while I'm there, so then what is? Well, you already. I assume it's probably the ones you brought. Oh, there's. Goddamn.
There we go. Now it's better. Time to do this proper. All right. That's better. Now we're ready for Tremors.
Ian, freeze! You'll see your body heat.
Yes. Well, the genetic engineer back in the lab explained that they used the DNA of frogs to complete the genetic sequences for the dinosaurs. Now, some West Indian frogs have been known to simultaneously change their sex in a same-sex environment. Malcolm was right. Life found a way.
I'm going to eat olives for you on that one. In fact, I'm going to drink the juice because that was so good. It goes down. Goes down good. I love the burn. God damn it. Smell the claw. What the fuck? Smell the claw. What the fuck?
Oh my God.
Okay. That's fine. I don't know what it means, but I like it.
I was going to say, is that just a t-shirt? Smell the claw. That's a t-shirt right there.
Yeah. These claws, I don't. They smell like 3D print. I was
gonna say they smell like 3D printed rubber, don't they?
Yeah. He smelled the eggshells. Okay, Johnny, you've got to explain what the fuck you were talking about right now. I'm so confused.
There we go. He's talking about Jurassic Park. He smelled the eggshells. Takes the eggshell like that. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now I feel.
I don't remember him smelling the claw though. I don't remember him ever smelling because he had the raptor claw right on him. Yeah. But I don't remember him smelling the claw. But yes, I do remember him smelling the
eggshells.
Yeah, and then he goes on about the frogs. Yeah.
Now my brain is just like, was there a claw smelling scene? I need this. It's got to be in. Oh, okay. Thank God. Okay, Johnny says he didn't, but it sounded funny, and he's always playing with it. Thank God.
I know my brain was working overtime. It's like, okay, smelling the claw. Maybe this was a cut scene, a delete scene, where he's smelling the claws.
Because for me, my VHS that had a tear in it that did that was Jurassic Park, and it was always the scene at the end, near the end, where the raptors are coming in, not the kitchen scene, but with the skeleton. And it was so perfect for the VHS because it's when the one raptor lifts up the plastic.
The tarp. Yeah.
And the line would literally like rise up with that static line would literally rise up with the Velociraptor, and I was like, this is so weird. I love it. And we get bigger and bigger all the time. But so I would thinking I missed a scene in Jurassic Park. It's just like, it's okay.
There was one more VHS as a child that had a wrinkle in the tape in one part.
Porky's?
And that was Terminator 1, and it was the Sarah Connor the Sarah Connor, Kyle Reese love scene.
It's not a joke. I have a running, we'll call it a running gag, that I think that there's only one sex scene in all of cinema history that's actually worth it. Because if you want to watch a sex scene, just put on porn. We got the internet. We got everything. Hell, we had porn back then. Just buy a fucking VHS tape. So anytime you get like a sex scene shoved into a movie, I'm like, oh my God, please, can we get back to like people being murdered? This is so stupid. The only one in all of cinema history that I think is a good sex scene is the one in Terminator, because it actually ties into the plot.
It's As a kid, of course, I wasn't thinking about that. But
now, I understand that. I was trying to maybe help there a little bit.
Yeah. But it is true. It actually is important for the entire premise of the film.
Yep. Like it has to happen, or the movie doesn't happen. It's the only sex scene I like. Otherwise, just wow. So I'm gonna,
or should we call it Betamax? Ooh.
Fuck. Man, so we started on this tangent talking about Seinfeld. Holy shit. That's where this one went. I love it. Jesus. Okay. So I'm doing a new thing with the show when it comes to interviews. We are actually going to talk about Tremors movies. No joke.
I like it. I like it. It's experimental, but I like it.
Whoa, it's trippy. It's weird. I've never done this before. Yeah, I don't think so. I probably have. I don't know. So we're gonna go right to the beginning. Very first Tremors movie ever. Mm-hmm. We're gonna go right to where the legend begins, and I need you to tell me about Tremors 4. The legend begins, and it's going to be 4 categories. It's your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it, your memories of watching it, and then why you think it's a good movie going forward. So tell me, Ian, why do you like Tremors 4? What's your favorite parts of it?
First, I like Tremors 4. First of all, it found such a clever way to have Burt Gummer in it. It just, but without making it awkward or clumsy. It was just the most perfect. It was perfectly done, and I love that it actually involved a character arc of him where he wasn't always, or his family wasn't always like how he is, right? So in Tremors, right? So that was really nicely done, and just kind of like it has a good pace, really good pace. The action gets going. Kind of you get the great course like a good action movie, sci-fi movie has, like you have the opening preamble, but then it calms down a little bit and you introduce the characters, and then you get a few action sequences sprinkled in, and then it builds up to the end. So it was perfectly paced out, didn't drag on too long. I don't think any of the Tremors movies really drag on too long, which is great. Because I know these days there's so many movies that go like 2.5 hours, and I get God, like come on, just wrap it up.
And we're done. Like 90 minutes. 90 minutes
is great,
unless it's Lord of the Rings. But
yes, that is exception. I'll always give. Yes. Don't worry. Extended edition all the way.
All 16 hours, baby.
Yeah. So then pretty much all the characters are fun and likable, and they play off each other really well. So I really enjoyed that, and I just like that. Because I'm not a fan of the third one, and I like that it was able to reinvent itself after the third one, and it kind of recaptured that magic of Tremors. So that's what I'm gonna say. And also, they still had a decent amount of practical effects in Tremors 4.
Actually, so everybody says that there's CGI in Tremors 4, and I always have to point this out, that the CGI is actually composite CGI. There's no they don't build there's no CGI tentacles or CGI.
Yeah.
They have fully practical miniatures that they composite.
On the screen. Yeah.
That's the extent of the CGI, which is that's my David Fincher level of CGI where you don't notice it. Oh yeah. So it's almost a fully practical movie. Besides that,
yes. So I've seen that again. I was like, oh my God, this is great. I really enjoyed that. All right. What's question number 2 again?
Least favorite? Like, what don't you like? What would you change? What would you make better?
Least favorite
why do you want to burn this movie in a fire? I don't know. Like that's.
I'd never want to do that, but I'd say my least favorite about it is they have like the small group of remaining coal miners. Not coal miners. Silver miners.
Silver miners. Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Silver miners, and they go up. They say, "Okay, we'll help." And he pays them. They go up, and they introduce them all. And some of them were really interesting feeling characters. And then they all of them die in the camp scene. And I kind of I wanted at least one or two of them to hang on longer in the film. So I was kind of disappointed that they killed all those characters off in that one sequence because they were pretty fun and pretty interesting. So I felt like there was more that could have been done with them. At least save a couple of them to linger on in the film a little longer.
I like Soggy with his chew spit and his little accordion.
Soggy was great.
Fucking Soggy.
Yeah, Soggy was great. So I was like, I really wanted. So I felt that was kind of a missed opportunity there, and they made them too interesting for their fate, essentially.
You know what? In terms of like complaints, that's actually a really good one. Of like, I really like these characters, and then they die. Like they were well written, and then they die. It's like, oh shit, that's good. Like
yeah. So as far as complaints go, it's not the worst complaint possible, right? It's kind of like they had something that maybe they were more interesting than they thought they had on their hands, type of thing. Yeah.
Could have been its own different movie.
Yeah. And then after that, maybe about the only other complaint I could think, and I know this is budget restraint, is there could have been a little more motion in the cinematography. Like a few more kind of sweeping shots or kind of like tracking shots and stuff would have been nice. The camera was a little too static, I felt. But again, that could be budget base, right? Because I know it wasn't a huge budget for the film.
It's fine. Yeah. I'll email Steve. He didn't like his camera work. That's fine. That's okay.
I didn't say I hated it.
That. I understand that as a viewpoint.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? You see, I don't see those things. Like I need to see these things more. So thank you for pointing something out that I'm going to be watching the next time I watch it.
Next time you watch it, you'll probably notice it. There's a little too many like static shots, especially in the outside sequences. Obviously inside a little more confined, but definitely outside could have been a little just to give it a little more. Like the first Tremors does it well, like the grand feeling of the desert, kind of the grand expansive feeling, right?
Sweeping. Yeah. Now that you say, I just think of sweeping. Like that's my brain is for some reason just doing that like over and over again. And you know what? We're gonna get rid of. I'm making these questions up on the fly. This is totally. Right. We're gonna get rid of third question. We're gonna focus on third question. We're gonna get rid of third question. Focus on third question.
Wait. Which way are we going?
We're going to get rid of the third question and focus on the D question, which is also the beta question. So, as a movie like Tremors 4, what does it do for the rest of the franchise? Like you were talking about how it reinvigorated it a little bit from 3. Like, what does it do in terms of like changing it for the things that, whether or not they did happen afterwards, could have happened afterwards?
I feel like it was a prequel, and most prequels in my mind fail. There's a lot of prequels out there I don't like because it's like, I didn't really need to know this about this character or the backstory to this, because sometimes it's fun just to meet characters and you make their histories up in your mind, right? Is kind of what you do. But I felt that this one, it was far enough back that it wasn't directly about the characters we meet in 1, right? It's just more their ancestors and even like a couple generations back in their ancestors. And it did it well because it also made sense that this is how this little town came together and where their ancestors came from. So it didn't take away from anything on that. So it actually helped build it, I felt. And a rare success for a prequel, I felt. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, and it reinvigorated the franchise for me. It's just too bad that didn't continue to Tremors 5. And we know all about this. So I'm not going to get into this. Right?
We'll get into it later. But like, I get it. That's where I always I put Tremors 4 as my favorite out of every one of them, because it's
I can see this opinion. I understand this opinion. I can see how someone could put it as their favorite.
Having that bar, like when you have that bar of like, man, Tremors 1 was great, Tremors 2 was awesome, Tremors 3 was a movie, Tremors 4, like you got to jump. If you can have that expectation and jump over it, that's even better than setting the bar in the first place to me, where it's like, ooh, that's a lot of more of an uphill climb to make, and I just gotta sit back and be like, you did good, Tremors 4. You did good.
Oh yeah, Tremors for me is solid, the second best in the series. I'm always gonna love number 1 as number 1, but Tremors 4 is solid number 2, and Tremors 2 is number 3, and then Tremors 3 is kind of the
It's a movie.
It's a movie. It's the run to the litter. We'll just say that. And then
talk about budget problems. That's the biggest one with like, oh, they only had 22 days to shoot. I can't even imagine trying to
insane.
end a trilogy like that. Like, oh, no, thank you. Horrible.
I will say my favorite sequence in Tremors 4. My favorite sequence is when they are in the barn and they're pulling out the floorboards one by one. I absolutely love that. That is so much fun. That is such a good set piece. Yeah.
Like that slowly, like they're still coming for you, and you're like, what are you going to do? Just fucking waiting, pointing guns.
Yeah, just waiting. The tension's rising. The suspense is there. It's just so well done. Yeah, that was definitely well-crafted sequence. And as for shots go, I love the shot when they're like escaping from the graboid, and there's like the little creek or like trench, and you see it just go right through and just plows right back to the other side. So I love that too. That's a good shot. That's a good visual kind of gag.
Oh
yeah.
That's it. That was where I said the composite thing. Like you'd think that's CGI, but they actually built the miniature on a full track and did that. Jim Davison, he has a bunch of behind the scenes photos on Facebook, and I was like, oh my god, that's an actual little fucking tunnel for that thing to go through. But that shot is just so fucking cool, man. Just whoosh. Wait, what? That happened? Cool. Okay. Yeah.
I super enjoy the effect work in Tremors 4. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I love that. Cool. Okay, cool. Yeah. Whew, I'm doing it. Yeah, we're doing it. I'm fine. You know what? This is for everybody out there. Contrary to popular opinion, I'm not on drugs right now. Like I had some coffee and some olives. Like that is the grand extent of it. This is just nerves.
I'm on aspartame.
Yeah, some good cancer causing stuff.
Damn.
That's fun.
This stuff hits like a motherfucker.
Just randomly, and this will lead into the next one. So who's hotter, Earl Bassett or Valentine McKee?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I love women, but I am secure with my sexuality.
Me too.
Yes. And but I definitely know a handsome man when I see a handsome man. And damn, actually, this now Valentine has the charm, but you know what? I'm an Earl Bassett guy.
That's the right answer. I'm sorry, it is. I like asking this question because everybody assumes, well, Kevin Bacon's the hot one. He's the star. And I'm like, hey, take the step the fuck back and look at Fred Ward over here. Like, no.
Fred Ward is a handsome man, and he's got that grizzled but not too grizzled, and he's got that luscious hair. Yeah.
Whew. It's a thing. So I just had to be fun. I love asking that question just because it's like, no. I mean, I love you, Kevin. Great guy. But Fred,
Kevin Bacon's great. Kevin is great. He's got a little bit of a bacon nose.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No shame. I've been there. But yeah, that Fred Ward. Ooh, give me some more. I was gonna say give me some more bacon, but that's not the right words for that. And
give
then
me
the
some
butt
more
and
Ward.
give me some more. Earl's gonna take care of you. He seems more stable, and the butt and the jeans too. Look, this is why I like women. He like his butt is not the selling point for me. That thing is flat. That thing is flatter than plywood. Like I love that scene in 2 too because it's very
It's a fun scene. It's a fun scene, but he is Hank Hill in it.
They both are too, kind of. Like, these are just the flattest butts we could pick. Like we couldn't get a butt double for this scene. Like please and thank you.
Yeah, totally. They did that for Brie Larson on Marvel.
Oh my God, Jesus! So it's there. It's in the budget. We have enough money for cocaine in the budget. We can put butts in the budget too.
Listen, any film that's made before like 1996, there's always a cocaine budget in there.
This is just facts of life, man.
Yeah,
I've seen the call sheets.
It's part of craft services.
I've watched Bridgerton. The Queen, she's just always, doing that shit up here. Sorry. So now we're on this wonderful subject. We were at the beginning. Now we got to go back to where it all started. Tremors 1. Give me your favorite, your least, and that lasting legacy. Take us through it, baby. I want your hot takes and opinions because we all know when you're out in that desert.
It gets
residual boulders.
It's a little smoky. It gets a little hot. Yeah, you can feel the back bacon on that. Let's see. Favorite part. Oh man, it's almost like I just want to say the whole movie, but obviously that's a cop out. I'm not doing that.
It's not. If you want to, that's fair. We can just talk about. It's 92 minutes. We can just talk about.
Tremors is the perfect script. It's so perfectly paced. Everything that happens in that movie is set up earlier on, and so much that you don't notice it until it happens later on. And even the quippy dialogue, it's fun. You think it's a joke. No, it's actually set up for this that happens later. Mm-hmm. It's also great. Best sequences. Okay, I'm gonna give 5 sequences. Okay, just do top five. All right. Obviously, there is Burt Gummers and Heather Gummers. Rec Room, of course, that's in there. Up next would be I love it when the Graboids are attacking the town, and they're obviously Wanda's all wrapped up with the barbed wire. They get the pants off, they're running, and as they run back in, the tremor goes under the boardwalk, and the boards are.
That is so cool.
Such a cool visual, and just the way the sound effects and the music's going is just perfect. So yeah, that's number. I'll make that my number 2. Number 3, of course, is them pole vaulting on the boulders. How can you not love that sequence? It's so fun. It's so great, and I also just love the banter going on during there, where it's like, be careful, Val. That thing's got a good 10-foot reach. Thank you, Earl. As he's just like tapping the ground. I just love that. It's so great.
You can tell those guys have spent a lot of time with each other.
A long time together. Yeah. Love that. Yeah, they must be long gone right now. It's like, why don't you take a stroll and find out? So great. Number 4. Now I'm going to think about this a little bit. Number 4, of course, is them outrunning it and jumping over the culvert, and then of course it smacks itself. Yeah, fuck you, which is in a of the top 5 best F-bombs in cinematic history, and that's number 1. That's the best F-bomb ever.
Go to Ian's channel at Fermented Cinema and go watch that video. It's right there. Yeah, he's not lying.
And then the last one, I gotta have to think about this a little bit because there's still a lot left, and there's still a lot of stuff I really like. You know what? I like it when they get sprayed with the shit. That's a good comedic moment. Yeah. Hey, Melvin, why don't you help him? Most of this shit's yours anyway.
Why don't you run down to the store and pick me up a 6-pack? I'll pay for it.
Beers for adults.
The banter. It's the banter. That's why I love those two. The way they fight is just, it's beautiful.
It's awesome. And then, of course, there's also stuff like at the end when they're stuck on the boulders, and it's a great ending. Run towards the cliff, and it goes out off the end. Can you fly, motherfuckers? Yeah. It just hits the rocks. Just the big gelatin sack just going, oh, man. Love it. Yeah. For anything I would change, anything I dislike.
Yeah, what do you hate? What do you hate about Tremors? Again, I'm writing these down to tell Steve and Ron when I see them.
This is going to be a hard one. I
know mine.
I love the effects, but there's a couple minor effect shots that could have been done better. One, it's from one of my favorite sequences, but when they're out running it in the desert and they jump in the culvert, when the fence posts are falling down, it's a little hokey. But it's just like poof, a single dust, poof, and it's like it would have been better if those more went like kind of just like wobbled side to side, or something. Could have worked better. Besides, then I do love it how the car gets sucked under the dirt, but when Val hits the car with his foot, you can tell, because he's walking, it's a close up on the ground, and he stubs into the headlights, right? You can tell that he is aiming to hit it, and it's very staged. I would
honestly, before you said it, I was like, oh, that you can see like I can picture his foot immediately doing that. It's not a natural flat foot. He's tipping his toe.
Tipping his toe, it doesn't look natural at all. It looks like it's very staged. And I was like, I would have done
for me now.
more takes on that. Yeah.
Shit. Oh man.
Yeah. But besides that, I think it's pretty much perfect. Like, there's just a couple of nitpicks. That's all. They can't control this. The inconsistent weather. But that one, I know they can't control, and I'm not going to blame anybody on that one.
No, well, we're going to stop. Ian, take us through your pet peeves about weather, because it's actually this is something I found fascinating. Listening to Ian make his own movie, because he has a live stream where he was talking about making his own movie and how weather changing is just his biggest fucking pet peeve. So take us through the how and why of this one.
I've been making my own home movies since I was a little kid. And I've always hated when you're half done a sequence and the weather changes and you have to film the other sequence and you're scheduled for the next day. But the weather is it was clear as a blue day, first day, next day is overcast. You're like, shit, this is not going to blend. This is not going to mix well. I hate it. And Tremors has that where you can see, especially a good sequence is when they find, oh God, come on, don't brain fart right now. When they find Edgar up on the power pylon, and you can really see it there because shots of there's it'll cut between a few different shots, and some shots it's a beautifully blue sky day, and then all of a sudden the sky's almost completely covered by clouds, and also it's snowing up on the mountain ridge. You can see it literally snowing up on the mountain ridge, and then it cuts back. It looks like a warm summer day again. It's kind of, and it keeps going back and forth, and for some reason that takes me out of the film, which is it might be one of those things more where it's if you've done your own filmmaking before, you get more attuned into these type of things, right? And you start noticing them more. So yeah. So you're like, oh, okay. And then it kind of puts you less in the movie and more in the behind the scenes, what's going on, right? Kind of feeling. Yeah. So there is some of that.
Fucking worst. That's why I love it as a pet. Seeing you talk about it's that's the fucking man. Because you can't. That's the one out of everything in the world you can't control the weather unless you're in a studio.
Yeah, and we ain't studio filmmakers.
Yeah, no. And that's why we love Tremors, is it's outdoors.
Yeah, it's outside. It's lovely. It's all outdoors. Yeah, and I understand. I remember I had this one movie I made in high school. And the weather forecast, I even did this. I'm like, okay, weather forecast says high pressure ridge coming in. All right, we got 3 sunny days coming up. Fantastic. First day filmed, clear as a bell. Second day filmed, clear as a bell. Went to bed the next night. The forecast still said tomorrow, sunshine. I'm like, yes, it's going to all work out. Wake up, marine cloud over the whole valley. And I kept looking at, okay, it says it's going to burn off around 10 a.m. 10 a.m. comes, thick as a motherfucker. Okay, it says it's going to burn off at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. comes, thick as a motherfucker. God damn, we got to film. Never fucking burned off the whole day. And I was like, damn it. And in my movie, then there's this hard cut from one scene where it's beautiful sunshine to overcast. And it still makes me, yeah.
It is, and Thomas here, yeah, I'm going to have to go back and watch that now. It's there.
Yeah.
Actually, you can, the one that I see after you pointed it out is actually in the opening, one of the opening scenes with Rhonda, where they first drive up and see Rhonda. Because on that day, like the Steve's Lost Tapes, is like Tremors Lost Tapes, he talks about it was snowing, like legitimately snowing on that day. So her sides of it, like you can tell she was like cold and like was probably like just taking off a fucking coat or whatever. She may have that sunscreen on or whatever, but she's not shivering or anything. But you see, it's what you're saying. Like there's a little more grayness in the background compared to then what's the other side with Fred and Kevin.
It's like warmer tones.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, you like once you notice it, you're like, son of a.
Yeah.
Like you do a good job hiding it. Our brains are really great at like smoothing out those edges, but you're still just like, oh damn, oh shit. And actually, on the this is a great one for Tremors 4. I love knowing the behind the scenes on it. That it rained like the whole shoot to the point where they actually had to add rain as part of the plot to things. And you can like see it like that. It is never like sunny out during that. Like I think there's maybe 1 or 2 like scenes where you get like the orange.
It's mostly
glow,
overcast or rainy or
and
drizzly.
the rest very blue and gray. And you're like, oh my god, because they didn't. It just had a month of rain, and what are you gonna do? Change filming? Nope. You just gotta.
You can also see that in movies where it's like suddenly there's puddles around.
Like,
where do these puddles come from? And you're like, what? Okay, it must have rained, and then they just started filming afterwards again. Yeah.
No. They didn't have any bathrooms on set, so you just you gotta go where you gotta go. You're wearing the
craft services was loaded, but unfortunately the porta johns never showed up.
That's one of the side effects of too much cocaine usage. It's just pissing on everything.
Oh my god! I got the old cowboy cough right now.
Drink some olive juice, bitch.
I'm gonna stop chewing the tobacco.
Yeah, and Chris didn't know that about Tremors 4. Yeah, no, it was raining like I would say 3/4 of the time that they were actually filming, so they just added rain to the plot.
That's also one of my criticisms of Tremors 2 is it's so lush and green. It takes me out of the desert feel because again, growing up in BC, we do have desert, and you never ever. If you want the desert aesthetic, you do not film in May or June because that's the green season in the desert, at least like where I am. And that's when everything is like flowers and lovely, lush, flowing grass. It's like, no, you got to go in July, August, or September because that's when everything's crispy and like that the classic desert aesthetic that you kind of want from these films.
Like right now, that's actually it just rained today, but this last month in Iowa, everything's just been getting a little more brown, a little more.
Yeah. That's the aesthetic you want. Yeah.
It's true. I love the story behind Tremors 2 is that they went down when they location scouted because that's what you do before a movie, and it was dry, and then it rained when they went to go film, and they're like, "Oh fuck." Well, we're not changing locations. I guess Mexico's really green. And I always love that there's that joke about Mexico always has the sepia filter, except for
I've seen that. Yeah.
Like Tremors 2 is the only Mexican like landscape that's not like orange and blue. It's actually probably what Mexico might look like if you're like doing that or whatever.
I saw that there was a great I saw a great meme on that, and it was like Canada, and it was like a blue filter, and it was like the US, and it's like just normal colors. Mexico was sepia, and it showed like Europe, and it was like vignette and like kind of like old black and almost kind of black and white saturated. Yeah.
And it's oh my god, that's you're gonna laugh when you watch the TV show too, because one of the like once you see it, you're just like, fuck. There's trees in town, like just like outside of town. Like there's like literal trees, and you're just like, wait, where are we right now? What happened? Like, man, these trees like grew up really fast. Like it's just
climate change hit perfection especially quick.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Now that I say that, and Chris is here, Chris, there could be a crazy theory about how there's a compound called Mixmaster that did something to the trees, and it made the tree seeds growing and stuff. But yeah, you'll be like, oh shit, what happened here? So favorite, least favorite, and then so what? Why the fuck are we talking about Tremors today? Why do you love Tremors? Why is it here? Why is there a fucking Talking Tremors podcast? How are we talking about a 35-year-old movie, you know?
Tremors is part of my childhood, and it is a big part, and Tremors is up there with my holy grail collection of films, and that is literally Tremors, Terminator, Aliens, and after that, Predator, and oh god, we got to get one more. Come on. I know there's more. Maybe Back to the.
You said
I was gonna say Back to the Future is up there too. Like just these perfect movies, that are everything you want in sci-fi, horror, comedy. Just tight scripts, great performances, not as if they're like Oscar performances, but great performances for what the movies are and what you're trying to get out of these films, right? Like, yeah, it's they're just so wonderful.
Like, I would have to say Oscar. Like, I think Kevin Bacon gives one of the best performances of his career, and then Michael.
I agree with that. This is definitely right.
Would be really easy to like. Okay, like if you were to, I know the Oscars doesn't give a shit about horror.
He's always charming. He's always charming. He's
legit. Like that. There's some good performance. Like I said, Kevin like kicks ass, and of course Michael. But
yeah. Michael Gross is always great. Michael Gross is always great. Yeah, and actually, I forget the actor's name. Oh, come on. Oh man, I'm embarrassing myself now. I forget his name.
What's the character? What's the movie?
No, wait. Now my mind is completely gone. Oh my god, what happened? This is aspartame. Don't drink it, people. It's poison. This thing kills you. Chang.
Victor Wong.
Victor Wong. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Victor Wong. There it is. I love Victor Wong. He's great too. His delivery in the movie is so perfect with his lines. Yeah.
He's not Pat Morita for whatever everybody thinks.
Yeah.
He's got one of his best. It's really stupid, but like there's this one, like it's not even a funny line, but I love his delivery on it. Where after it goes after Melvin, and they're like running inside, and he's just yelling, "What are we gonna do?" And it's just really like there's this really sincere like, "What are we gonna do?" It's very. I buy the performance in it. Most people might call it overacting, but it works for that moment of like, a giant monster came, and he is reacting accordingly.
I also love, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Yes. So great.
Or the other good one, you and Val take that truck and go up the mountain, like he's telling you to. You have to save us. Walter, those cum suckers ate our radios. And just like, no, but and he
they're all like whisper yelling too. They ate our radios. Yeah. So.
And even he's got great background faces because I love making gifs of stuff and like watching like Victor Wong just like always in the back. Like he knows what to do.
He's watching the situation. He's knowing.
And so that's your legacy. That's why you love it as a kid and moving forward.
And it's objectively a great movie too. It's just so wonderful. And I don't think there hasn't been like for me because it was technically a B movie. There hasn't been a B movie that's reached this level I'd say the two greatest B movies of all time are Tremors and Terminator 1, because they were made on B movie budgets, and they both ascended to essentially straight A-class films. I remember like watching Slither and like trying to get that same feel out of it, but it just didn't click as much, right? You're like, oh, this is a good movie. I like where it's going, but it ain't no Tremors, like type of feel. And a lot of stuff ends up getting measured to the Tremor scale.
To that, actually, I will give you a B movie recommendation then. And I actually was just on a podcast a couple weeks ago talking about this movie. It's called Splinter from 2008. And it is a super cheap ass movie that does a lot with a little. It all takes place inside of a gas station. And it just,
I gotta look this up. Splinter. I haven't.
Splinter.
Because I've heard this. I've heard of this movie, but I've never watched it.
It is phenomenal for what it does. Really fun characters. It's got a great monster in it. Like I'm trying to pitch it without giving too much spoiler. And like I said, I love a tight location. It's really only 4 characters in one location.
Okay.
Fighting off.
Kind of like a Cabin Fever, because I liked Cabin Fever, but again, no Tremors.
Yes. No.
Cabin Fever is good. I just think just Tremors is the perfect mix of horror, comedy, and sci-fi that's ever existed. Mm-hmm. Just it's so well blended, and it just feels so natural.
My brain instantly is just like trying to think of another example, and it's just
the comedy never feels out of place. It always feels natural. There's some, and the horror element never gets too vicious. So it never like makes it too dark. Like it's interesting, like how it's a great classic monster film, and it's again like it was kind of like a love letter to like the monster creature features of like the 50s and the early 60s, and it has that feel to it too, and it just works out so well. Yeah, this is so blended so well.
It's lovingly made, so then everything works inside of that.
Yes, and that's what it is. You can feel everyone work on that set loved it, and they loved what they're doing, and they had passion for the project. I know.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I know. Kevin Bacon at the time was, it's like a little more paychecky for him, but still, he's a very professional actor, and even when it's paychecky, he did. I've never seen him phone something in, which is nice. No. Yeah,
I hate Kevin Bacon in Hollow Man. Like that, just as an aside, like that's just my like. That guy's a fucking absolute monster in that movie, but he like gives his all, and it's one of those just like I fucking hate you, but I love you at the same time in that movie. Like he's really like he does. Kevin always pulls out the stops, and I have I finally uploaded the interview. I just put it up on the channel where I talked to the set dresser for Tremors 1 and 2, Mike Malone.
Oh, I gotta see this. And
he talks about how like the set for that movie is exactly what you're describing. Or they all laugh now later on. We're like, we just thought we were making this kind of stupid little worm movie out of this. and it wasn't like, oh no, we're not going to care. It's just like, oh, you know, that pressure on that bar is a little lower, so you're having more fun. You're still doing your job and doing it to the best. But he talks about the set for that movie is just one of his favorites that he's ever been on. And I just like, I got the FOMO for it. I feel it. You feel it, and actually that's what I was going to say. You can feel it in the movie. Like, it is there.
Yeah. You feel the TLC in there. Yeah, the fun, the TLC. And you got to send my cartoon to these guys. The Denise Villeneuve Tremors reboot cartoon.
I did. Steve, it's okay, look. You're a writer, too. You understand the procrastination. Look, that interview I was talking about, we did it in June. All right? And I just uploaded it on, like, Wednesday or Thursday.
I understand.
I'm gonna just hide my head in shame. All right, just like I did though. I did send that to Steve. I'm waiting to hear back. So as soon as I know, I will tell you. And I can even prove it. I'll take a screenshot of the email so you can see it. Fuck. What was I just gonna say? I had something and then I lost it, but it doesn't matter. Boobs, penis, Mad Max,
Butts.
wall, pants, barbed wire.
We're getting that farts.
Farts. Fart. Oh, it was out because the comment on the screen. That's why I can't think. I should look at the evolution. I actually do like evolution. It doesn't have.
Yeah.
I would agree. Like that's. I like it as it's a good movie. That horror aspect is really important to the rest of it.
I'd say evolution is just like a straight sci-fi comedy, and it was fun. I liked it too. I haven't seen it in like a good 20 years now. Yeah. I think I saw it like twice when it came out. But yeah, I gotta watch it. Movie. David Duchovny, of course. It's like one of his only, besides X-Files, one of his only like real major features.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I love Orlando Jones in everything. It doesn't matter. Put him in anything, and I'll watch it.
Yeah, he's good.
But to Ian's point, to have the horror, the comedy, and the sci-fi, and then I always got to say this about Tremors is that technically there's romance too. It's the first.
It is romance. Yes.
It's the very first horror rom-com movie, and then Shaun of the Dead popularized it, and now we do have a lot more of them. But Tremors is the first. It's a whole.
Yeah.
It's a genre.
It was a trailblazer.
Yeah, baby. Can't think of any other ones. So hell yeah. Who is your favorite character in all of Tremors?
Oh, in all of Tremors, my favorite character is. Oh, this is gonna be a hard one because there are a lot of great characters. I like Earl Bassett.
Yes,
specifically in the first one. I feel that's top tier. Earl Bassett is in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoy him in the second one as well. And rewatching the second one again recently. Every time I rewatch the second one, I like it a little more. Yes, but definitely Earl Bassett in the first Tremors is just such a great character. He's so fun. I just love. He's so good at also deadpanning it as well. But I just love his kind of fatherly feeling towards Val. I love too, and just like he's kind of guiding him, he's kind of mentoring him, right? Yeah, like you're friends, but you can tell he's the authority side of it.
One of his best lines in the whole movie isn't even a line; it's an eye look when they wake up on the rock, and then Val's like hiding away or whatever, and then like he just like looks at him and
just give him a little I love that. It's so great.
Not even a lot, nothing said, but so much spoken in that moment.
Yeah, it's so perfect. After that, number 2. Got to go to Burt Gummer, of course. How can you not love Burt Gummer?
I get it. It's fair.
Yeah.
I get it.
And then number 3 is Walter Chang. I love Walter Chang.
Okay.
He's a great character. Yeah. Number 4.
Remember, it's all of Tremors, dumb.
I know. It's all of Tremors. Number 4 might actually be Heather.
Okay.
I love how she plays off of with Bert. I love them as a couple. They work out so well. I will say, like for Burt Gummer, his performance in the fourth one is probably my favorite performance of Michael Gross. So that will go to the fourth one.
No, it is hands down. You can tell that that's a guy that was doing one character for 15 years and then got the chance to act as somebody else, and he's like, "I'm gonna make a meal out of this motherfucker."
Yeah. I love that. So So Michael Gross is freaking amazing in the fourth one. So that'll be like his best performance in the Tremors franchise is definitely the fourth one. Yeah. And then maybe Kevin Bacon will be the next.
I guess Kevin Bacon's cool.
Yeah,
maybe.
Oh man, you know also who I'm forgetting, and I gotta double check the character name here because I'm gonna embarrass myself. All right, 1 second here.
This is so important. Oh my God, everybody, we're all enraptured. Here we go. He's gonna lay down
the
law with this.
It's
gonna be big.
Black Handy Kelly.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh God damn.
He's great. He's great.
In that movie, like that, like that is a great character.
Yeah, I love that character.
It's
so much fun.
He's just got some great lines, and his breakdown when he's like freaking, like, because he's played pretty cool for most of the movie.
He's so cool the whole way through.
He starts like
freaks out,
losing his shit when he sees the size of him grab one. He's just like he's fucking screaming, and you're just like, oh yeah, that is how a real person would react to that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
that's
insanely extraordinary situation.
It's so good. Hilariously, Earl Bassett's my favorite, and then the other ones are from the TV show, so you wouldn't even know what I was talking about. So
that's right. I got to check out the TV show.
No, it's fine. I was just more making fun of myself there, but I always point out that Earl Bassett, if you're gonna put like a theme on Tremors, there's about 2 of them, and one is doing what you can with what you got, but then the other one is plans, planety plan, and that comes from Earl Bassett's character. Like he is plan man. But yeah, Earl Bassett's
run's not a plan. Run's what you do when a plan fails. Yeah.
God damn it, Val. I'm trying to think of a plan. Don't put me on this path, man. I will just do this whole movie. So on the concept, he said you love Burt Gummer. So then now we're on Tremors 2, which is, like this is the movie. And if we're gonna talk about like a direct-to-video sequel being a good movie, this is Aladdin 3, The Return of Jafar, like levels of awesome. So Tremors 2, what's your favorite?
Tremors 2, The Return of Burt Gummer.
Hey, that's a fact there. Tremors 2, what's your favorite, your least, and this vague legacy question I keep asking.
all right. Tremors 2, my favorite scenes and my favorite parts of Tremors 2. I love, for Tremors 2, I love it when Burt Gummer first encounters the Shriekers. I just think that's a hilarious gag. I love it. He's just driving around. He's lost. And he's like recording himself. He's talking about how he's lost contact. And he's got the map out. And he hears something thud on the hood. Pulls the map down. Yeah. There they are. Oh, my God. In his window. Yeah. Just that gets me every time. I love that. I like the Shriekers themselves. I love the design, and we're talking about how like this relates to the design of like the Starship Troopers, which is another great film of the arachnids. And you can't unsee that once you see it. But the Shriekers are great when they are puppeted. Their CG shots are a little. That's about the next question, but it's hilarious. But yeah, no, they're great when they're puppeted. It's really fun. Of course, I also love it when you just have that montage moment of them raking up the cash and they're out, just keep blowing up, graboid after graboid after graboid, and they're calculating how much cash they got, and so much fun. And they got that scene where they're just sitting on the rock, and you can hear the coyote howling. He's like, "Better be quiet." It's just gone.
Yep.
Oh yeah, so much fun. So yeah, that whole sequence is good.
That's America for you, baby. That's America in a nutshell. Yeah,
and
blow shit up.
And I love it when Burt pulls out that huge fucking gun and blows the Shrieker apart, and they're going to the car, and the hole keeps going through everything, and it's like, you killed the truck.
I didn't know. How could I have known? That is a great gag in a movie filled with great gags. I'm just like,
yeah.
Oh my God, that's how that. I love the physics of it. Of just like that, because you see gunplay in movies all the time. To see an actual consequence of like, oh, you didn't check what was behind it, and it just kept going.
Yeah, like a high caliber freaking like semi missile like that, right? Like how far is it gonna penetrate through? Yeah. Yeah, so that's great. Kind of some real world consequences there, which is always fun to have in a movie. Of course, it's nice. It's great having Earl back, but I do feel they softened him up a little too much compared to the first one. As I said, he should have been drinking beer instead of cola when they're driving.
You don't drink and drive, man. Come on. What are you doing?
When you're Earl Bassett and you're driving through Mexico.
Mexico ain't got no laws, kid.
He's going to have a Corona in his hand, and you know it.
That's family for you.
Also, I felt that what's also really good is, or what I liked, obviously, how they reintroduced Burt Gummer. I do like that, and it's kind of a callback to the first gag with like the wall of guns, and he's got the hunting trophies, and now you got like the graboid stuffed on the wall. It's so great, yeah. Which I would love to have in my house one day.
Oh, you actually! Oh my God, I just realized this. Oh my God, again, because I watched these things as a kid. Like I gotta like take the adult viewpoint. What I was saying earlier about that gun reveal just hit me because I just assumed that.
Yeah.
The real callback to the gun thing is when he flips open the truck and then you see all of the shit inside.
All the explosions, like, all the stuff inside. Yeah.
That's the gun wall for Tremors 2. It's just like, what? Oh, yeah, this is all the shit I brought. I brought a truckload. It's just like, oh my God.
And that's all you guys asked for? Shows what he got. And even the whole truck itself, right? He got from the army. He's like,
the government give you anything you want, and you got one case of dynamite.
Well, he's prepared.
Oh my God! Wow! I just realized one. Yes, that's why I love this show. I'm always learning things. So those are your favorite
always notice
things.
something new in these movies.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
They care. Everybody cared. Like that's that writing. I always go back to it all the time. That writing and smart people does a lot more for you than any amount of budget. Because people are always like, "Oh, I want a Tremors movie with like $100 million budget," and I'm like, I would like a Tremors movie that had the original $10 million budget. Like, let's adjust for inflation, whatever that would be now. But like
20 million. We'll say 20 million budget now.
And like, let them do that because they did so much with their creativity of not having stuff. And like working inside of that box is a lot cooler than like, we've got Avengers Endgame level of money. It's like, no. Like, that's not. How about we have a good
flying with a jetpack?
He would. Let's be honest here. If jetpacks existed, Burt Gummer would have one. Like, so those are all your favorite things about it. Why? I don't know why I'm leading up with this. Well, what's your least favorite parts of Tremors 2? Sorry.
All right. Well, I think when I was a kid, we saw it at my friend's birthday party. I just remember getting a disappointed feeling on it because I was kind of expecting Tremors 1 level of which it's not now in retrospect, it's not too far off, but I think the fake CG took me out of it a lot, even as a kid, which is weird. But I was already like in tune to that stuff. I was like, oh, this is kind of hokey, and I think just from that, I kind of got that bias for it, and then trying to rewatch it a few times, but each time I rewatch it, I liked it a little more. So as a kid, it started out only as like a 5 out of 10, but then it slowly grew to about a 6 out of 10. When I did my review, it became a 6.4 out of 10, and I would say now it's grown to about a 6.8 or 6.9 out of 10. So it's a 7 now. Yeah. Because I do enjoy it more every time I see it. There's stuff I notice I like. But the stuff I still don't like is obviously the CG shots of the Shriekers. Takes me out of the film. I still find Grady grating.
Wow.
He's probably my least favorite character out of the Tremors attack pack, we'll say.
I would pick other ones, but that's fine. Sorry.
Wait.
Okay.
Maybe I'll say he's probably my least favorite character out of 1, 2, and 4.
Okay, everybody's gonna say.
Yeah. Which is my attack back. Which is my attack back. So
the other one's Seinfeld. That's the other movie is Seinfeld.
Yeah. The other one's Seinfeld. Lane Bennett. Yes. Cosmo Kramer. And then what I didn't like about the second one was just the scene when she's like looking at the Precambrian rock and it's like these things have been around for this long and stuff. I actually didn't like that because I like what they did in the first one where it's like you just have all these different theories of where they came from and you don't really get an answer for it. And I just feel like this is kind of an answer we didn't need because I like the idea of it being very nebulous of like where'd they come from. I like the mystery of that, right? Where it's like, and you just kind of build it yourself. They're from space. They're natural. They're experiment, right? Like whatever. And so I kind of feel like we didn't need to have that explanation there. And I'd say those are and a couple of the jokes don't land for me. Most of the jokes do, but there's a couple of jokes like, I don't know, just the delivery, it became a little too much like a sitcom delivery, talking about Seinfeld. Like when it panned over and it's like, he's reading like, what does this say in Spanish? And they, sweet snack food. And I was like, oh, that's a little too on the nose. That was a little too, yeah. The delivery on that, it should be more like, it means sweet snack food. Like something like that would have been better. Like kind of like a more realistic reaction to it. Because the idea of the joke is good, but just the execution didn't quite land there. I just remembered one more thing I do like though. I do like Earl going in when he's covered with like the fire retardant and he's like freezing cold and it's slowly slipping off and they're starting to notice him. I think that's good. And he grabs onto the cable to swing out and it butts down. Joke. I love that.
I was gonna say that is my fucking favorite joke in the whole movie when he because it's that your expectation is here and then he just no, it's not gonna hold your fucking weight. It slams him. Oh my god.
That works 100%. See, that's a well executed joke. That's funny.
That's my fucking favorite.
Yeah, that's funny. So I'd say that's so. Those would be my issues with it. At that, and also a little bit the effect of the underground is you can tell it looks like they're pulling a coffee can under the sand. Like it doesn't have the weight of the first one. It's like or the ground, especially in the opening sequence in Mexico, right? When you actually see it.
That little tiny fucker is so weird. Like that first one, it doesn't. It's just really. Was it you or was it somebody else that I saw do like a video where it's like that was Bugs Bunny under there because of how it's got that old Looney Tunes animation and and then Bugs Bunny pops up. It's just like it doesn't. It's not right. It's weird when you're like when you see the other movies you're like that's totally off. And
especially when that's like your opening shot of them being under the ground. It's like no, you don't do that. A very tiny graboid, and then it comes up out of the ground. And you're like, that's not what size is going on here? I'm not sure. And this is really stupid. I saw someone point this out recently, where like that he's jumping on the cans or whatever, and it's like, okay, so I know you're trying not to make noise and stuff. You're now jumping on these things that make a bunch of noise, and it would be faster to actually just jump, like get off and run. You can just jump down and just run. But I mean, I get the visual and all that jazz. It's just that visual I'm okay with because I get the visual. It's funny.
It's a good. It lets you know stay off the ground. It's trying to teach you rules or whatever. But once you're like, it would be quicker you'd get to the van. He probably would have got to the van.
He just like ran. Just ran his foot. Just ran his feet. Yeah.
So I get it, and now that you say that, because they were able to in the first movie, because of everything being a desert and stuff, it's a lot easier to dig something and then put stuff over it and make it look like this. When you have all that wonderful lush grass, it makes it a lot harder to dig a trench and then make it look like grass again. And I actually know that from experience. That's why I
get the limitations and stuff, but
I was agreeing. I was like making a mental note of like, that grass just like fucks everything up. Like, don't film in grass for your underground worm movie.
No,
it's a thing.
You want nice alluvial soil, as they say.
And so then, what do you think is why is this like an important sequel to have in our pantheon of sequels? Like, why is this? What's the legacy on this bad baby?
I think the legacy, well, obviously it expanded the biology of the Graboids themselves. So we meet the Shrieker form, which I like, which is great, and it's fun to expand it with like the infrared vision, which I still feel that A Quiet Place kind of ripped off. That's actually in my review. Yeah, and I totally feel like the aliens in A Quiet Place rip off the Shriekers to an extent. It's just with sound and not heat, but still the whole visual of like the flaps opening up on the head. This definitely started the shift from obviously Kevin Bacon, or should I say like Val and Earl being the center of the franchise, to Burt Gummer being the center of the franchise. It started that shift, and definitely after that, it followed through on it, right? Because you still got Fred Ward in this one. So it's kind of like, if it were to have just ended after the second one, it would have been Fred Ward's franchise.
Yeah.
Okay, but it continued, and it became Michael Gross's franchise.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of I would see for his legacy, yeah. Which is interesting.
We should have killed this off quick, and then we wouldn't be here, would we? That would be a lot better. Sorry, that was dark. Okay, pull out. Holy shit, I'm good. So, I mean, you have a lot of really great complaints in a way, and I'm that's not me trying to set you up to throw you down here. It's a good. I'm trying to segue. I don't ride a Segway. I saddle it, and then what the fuck are you saying, Levi? So I want to know more about you making movies. All right, what do you make? Because I've watched a couple and I love that one that we watched on the live stream. So take me through Ian's movie making career of what have you done and stuff.
Wow, my movie makings, I'd say the bulk of them were during my high school years. It was a lot of fun. Always had a summer project planned with my friends. I always like writing the scripts. I always write my scripts grand, and then I do a rewrite, which I call the limited edition, which means I have to think about my limitations, so that I rewrite with my limited edition. There's the grand edition, the limited edition, and unfortunately, I got to film the limited edition. So I always try and think of for the limited edition what I have, what I can do. I still push myself a little bit. Always had fun just using of course, when I was a kid, tons of toys, which then became my miniatures. Like the train derailment sequence and stuff like that, my old HO scale trains and stuff, and just like a lot of fun stuff like that. Then I kind of just did wedding videos, like actual work videos, like wedding videos and corporate videos for a while. But then when I moved back to Japan, when I started my YouTube channel, I started getting into I want to start doing fun videos again. So I've been slowly building up again, doing fun videos. My time's limited, so I can only and my time's limited and my human resources are limited too. Because the problem with Japan is unfortunately your friend system becomes very cyclical, where someone else moves here for a year, you become friends, they move away. So you can't really build that stable relationship with someone who's always like, these people are always in my movies, right? Type of thing. So that is definitely like a handicap I'm dealt with living here. So a lot of it is just me. And I'll play sometimes I'll play multiple roles in the same video just to cover up for that. Again, just simple props, fun stuff. I love scouting locations. That's one of my favorite things, is just finding real locations to film in. If you check one of my latest videos, it's about, I don't know if you've watched it yet, but it's in Japan, especially where I am in the countryside, it's depopulating a lot. So there's all these abandoned buildings that are around. So I felt like, man, this is like a gold mine for filming a post-apocalyptic movie. So I made a whole video about that. So I introduced the situation in about the first minute. And then the last 2 minutes is me reenacting the opening of 28 Days Later. So check that out. Watch it. It's pretty funny. So there's a lot of fun. It's different locations around where I live, and I'm just like in a hospital gown, plastic hospital gown, walking around. Konnichiwa.
Do we get to see your penis? Do we get to see your dong? Do you hang dong?
No, I'm sorry. Public spaces, my friend. It's probably bulging. I am pretty well hung. I'm not, not to gloat or anything.
That's Oscar winning dong right there, baby. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then I got a few other in mind. I am writing a script for a larger production. I'm not sure how I want to tackle it though, because I can either do draw it almost like a graphic novel, but just add voices to it, or I could do my limited animation on it, but that would be take a long time and just come out piecemeal. Ooh. Or just try and actually film it one day when I'm back in Canada, because it takes place in the desert. Classic Tremors feel right to it. That always my scripts often take place in the desert. Unfortunately, Japan, there's no desert. So working on that. It's just a lot of fun. Just always come up with ideas, and of course, I still want to do my Tremors joke about like Canadian Tremors, like make the fake trailer for it. I'm still hoping to do that next year. Working on that. And then there's still my idea for a Tremors reboot, and it's gotten even more expanded and better. All right. So my idea for Tremors reboot is, again, the first half takes place in the desert, middle of nowhere, small town. But now what's happened is Perfection. That whole area is now a national park reserve. Okay, so these are now endangered animals, and they are under protected status. Okay, and so kind of like that's the opening in the park and stuff. Not much happens, but nearby there's just outside the park, it's either gonna be a mine site or like a dam project or something, and there's an accident there, and it kind of opens up. So they were confined to the valley because of the igneous rock that was blocking it, which is now removed through the mine site actions. So now they can escape the valley, and they head for Vegas, baby. And we got Tremors in, but here is the dilemma now. This is what makes it even more interesting. They are not allowed to kill. They're now on the red listed species list, so they can't be captured and brought back to the reserve. Extra challenging. Now, I'm not saying that they don't kill, but I'm saying the people can't kill the Tremors. In this one, it's all about trapping them
and not killing them. That's
not killing.
Makes it even harder. Got to train them.
Might be killed because there might be kind of like a race between a militia group trying to kill them and the people trying to trap them. So there will be a little bit of ticking clock element, right? Like we got to get them, or at least stop them before these people get them, right? And you could do all sorts of cool stuff, like building traps in underground parking garages and stuff like really fun setups and stuff, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. That sounds like a $20 million production, but I'm into it.
So that's kind of my thoughts on what would be a cool reboot for the series. Probably the only person I would have called back would be I would have Burt Gummer in it, but I wouldn't have him as the lead. But I would have him come in maybe kind of in the second act, and he'd be kind of instructing people how to. And at first he'll be wanting to kill him, but they'll convince him that they have to trap him. And he's like, all right, I know he died in the 7th, technically, but those are ignored as canon. We only, if 5, 6, and 7 aren't canon in this rebooted universe. So let's just say that. Yeah.
No, good. That's a good second act, because it's, I as much as I love Michael and Burt, it's one of those things where you got to pare back that character a little bit. Otherwise, he's gonna overpower everything. And
exactly, right?
Bringing him in for your second act of oh no, we've been fucking up for the first while, and we can't get this.
Yeah. We're who can we call? I know somebody. Yeah.
Sounds a lot like Tremors 2 here.
It is, yeah. It's a similar pacing Tremors 2 with that, yeah.
No, you're fine. Just like, hold on a minute,
Yeah.
wait. Call Bert Gummer. Wait, how do I know this from something? Where do I know this from? Hey, if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's not.
And if possible, get Heather back in it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, and at the end, it'd be them. Maybe their arc would be them rekindling. And
what you do is you have the movie like she's not your main character, but she'd be like there at the beginning, like through your first.
Yes. I was gonna say she'd be working at the reserve at the park.
Yeah. And then eventually, like, oh no, it's not working, and then she's like, well, I know a guy. Let me call somebody and see if he can come help us. God, that was a terrible Reba accent. What the fuck was that? It's not even worth an olive. That was bad. Yikes.
Don't worry. I'm sure Reba McEntire's not watching this right now, but she might get it on the replay. So be careful.
She is. Oh yeah, and she'll like be slamming down my door. Reba, what do you think I'm doing? That ain't no fancy. God, and I'm still doing it. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. Stop it. I just want to keep doing it. I'm fine. I don't have a problem. You have a problem. Stop smoking crack. And also, hello to Zilla Films.
Oh, thank you.
Zilla Films actually makes their own little movies and stuff too. Not little. I hate that. Makes their own movies too. They've actually made 2 Tremors sequels. They're working on a 3rd one right now too. And yeah, if you like movies like Ian's talking about, go watch Zilla Films. And Zilla Films, go to Fermented Cinema. And go watch Ian's stuff too.
Darn right. Enjoy it. Have fun. Lots of skits, lots of comedy.
And while we're talking about movies that you have to shoot in a limited time frame with a limited budget and you want them to be extra big and grand, I need to hear Ian's thoughts about the movie, the one we're all here for. I mean, I got to know. Like, we got to ass blast our way through this. So, Ian, what's your favorite, least, and legacy of Tremors 3? Take. Oh my God!
Dive. I'm gonna be myself right now. Is I haven't watched Tremors 3 in so long that I don't think I can even answer this question now because I have it's on the attack pack.
No, that's fine. You know, it's okay. Like that's a scathing indictment already. We can if you really can't, legitimately, it's okay if you can't. Like, I'm just like. I'm asking for interviewer purposes.
The best part is that I get to see Chang's market again. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh my God.
That's it.
What's your least favorite then? What's your least favorite?
Oh God. Oh man. I'll get to. I'm not a fan of ass blasters. I know.
What the fuck you say? What the fuck you say?
Oh my God.
I will come.
I'm sorry. I know. I felt the third one, the Ass Blasters, was the classic trying to upstage it too much, where it's like, okay, we had the Graboids and then we had the Shriekers. How can we upstage it again? And it kind of felt like that. It kind of like that mentality where it's like, you know what? Now the 4th one was fine with the oh God, I forget what they're called now. The
dirt dragons. They call them dirt.
Yeah. The dirt mags. That was fine. That was like a neat little pupil stage in it. And I was like, I love those things. Cool. Yeah. Those are good. But the Ass Blasters are a little too. It gets a little goofy for me. Let's just say that.
Oof, it's actually one of those things that I think for me, having watched the TV show, helps make it retroactively better. Is that when you see Burt Gummer being like calling them ABs, like he does a really technical, like they're ABs, that's the AB, that's the AB, and you're like, oh, that's because you don't want to say it. And there's even a lot, like he has a line because there's the other Tyler Reed, which is his like sidekick character through the series, and he's like, ass blasters, that mean they like really kick your ass or whatever? And Bert's like, Jody came up with it, not my first choice, I can tell you that. Like that's literally just like he's like, that's not, I don't like it either. Like just to hear Burt Gummer actually say, like, not my first choice either. Like it's just like, okay, that's okay. You retroactively made it just that little bit better, but conceptually, just that first like ass blasters, they fart fire, and they're flying. Like, I get all the. It's one of those things where I get like the 2 + 2 + 2 = 6. However, it's one of those like 2 + 2 + 2 = 85 for some reason. Like, it just didn't work exactly like I needed to.
It didn't quite connect. It definitely went way more in. It went too deep in the comedic for me there. I was like, yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Zilla Film Studios. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Hey, that's like so I me, like, I make my own Tremors movies, and I'm making a Shrieker head or whatever.
Yeah.
And I posted it, and someone was like, "You got to make an ass blaster one next." And I'm like, I mean, yeah, but like, what's the difference? Why wouldn't I just use the Shrieker head and like pretend that that's an ass blaster? Like, that's like, why don't I just save money and just make the Shrieker head, and like that's also an ass blaster head? Like,
if it starts feeling more like a chore than fun, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. Oh no, it's fun. Oh my god, it was so much fun.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. Just do what you're having fun with. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that's, for me, it's like I'm always trying to like how to use ass blasters in a sense for the story. Like, actually, if I was crafting a story with them that like works, like, because they're not like, that's why I love Shriekers, is that I understand the menace of them. There are a bunch of them. They're little. They come fast and they tear everything apart. Graboids and the Dirt Dragons, they're under the ground and they can hear you, and they're always patient and watching. Like, it's easy to understand the story with an ass blaster. And I think the real problem is that because they're this sounds really like nerdy and biological, because their job as part of that species is to propagate and lay eggs. It doesn't seem like the goal of the animal is to attack. Like, it's like you don't expect I was just saying mothers, but that's not right either. But you don't expect the nesting and the egg-laying creature to go out of its way after something. Yeah. It'll protect its nest. It'll do that. But to have something that's like, I'm trying to go after you and attack you, is just like,
it's less of a hunter feel, right? Yes. Where the other ones are more like they got to go eat and they got to get
They have motivation. That's the word I'm looking for. They have an actual motivation, biologically speaking, for what they're doing. And that's what I run a Tremors podcast, so I've got to be kind to some of these things, and that's just I just don't know how to use them properly, and maybe one day I'll figure it out, but currently not there. I'll try. So I feel like the legacy for this one doesn't exist. No,
it doesn't. This one was because the fourth one kind of, in a sense, rebooted the series again. Just kind of,
all went by.
The legacy was kind of a little scrubbed off on that one,
and while we're on the legacy of scrubbing things off, sorry, God, I'm bad. We'll do, because you said that you've watched Tremors 5, 6, and 7 while doing stuff in the house or whatever. So you've like peripheral them. So we're going to combine them all. 5, 6, and 7. Same thing. Favorite, least, legacy. Just give me some.
The only thing.
Use a pun for your name and it didn't work. Sorry.
The only thing for me that I would keep out of that entire bundle of films, but of course it would have to be erased from the canon because it's Burt Gummer dying, but just him flipping the bird as he's dying. That was funny. I like that. I was like, I like that moment. That would be about the only thing. I don't like, especially like the design of the graboids themselves too, get way too, like, I don't know how to say, like, just too many ridges, too many. It's like, I guess kind of simpler is better for them.
It's less believable, which is like, that's where I always get. It seems weird to say because we're talking about fucking giant worms that turn into dinosaurs.
Yeah, I know, but
it does. It's less believable as a design. It loses something inside of that.
it really does start to feel more like just something someone drew up, or dreamed up themselves, like an alien creature, than something that just lives in the dirt here on Earth, right? Like type of thing.
Like that, you wouldn't have the same fear that you were talking about earlier, like watching this on screen and being like, I can't go outside. Like, Dad, you don't understand. Yeah. I can't go outside because those things are fucking real, man.
So realistic. It felt like they really exist. That's what made them so great. Yeah, because it felt like they were so grounded in like Earth biology. Like this thing could really be real. Like,
well, they were. That was Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr. That was the thing they like worked the hardest on, was trying to use things that we know of in real life to make this a believable creature.
Yeah, and it worked.
Oh yeah,
it worked wonderfly. Yeah. It's such a great. It's one of the greatest creatures of all time for cinema, fermented or not.
It's up there with the Predator and the Xenomorph.
Yes.
And now I can't think of anything else. Well, honestly, that's actually those are just two. That's 1, 2, 3, because those are designs. Like you see that and you know what that is. Like you see that long ridge of the head with the Xenomorph. I know what this is. You see the for the Predator.
Yeah. I know mandibles of the Predator is so awesome.
And then even with the Graboid, and it's why I don't the body I get whatever about, but for me it's this beak. Like they lost the beak, like which is like you don't see this in any other like monster creature for anything, and it is so iconic. Like that is so weird and cool, and it's to like, oh, we're gonna throw that design away. It's like, oh my god, no, that worked. That was your Indiana Jones.
That was the heart of the creature. That was the heart of the whole of the whole design of them. Yeah, I know.
And it's okay to hate it. I know Don Michael Paul's listening to this show right now. I'll send it to him later, and he'll be mad at me. Actually, I've developed a really good friendship with that guy. He's actually really cool, and I try not to shit on this movies too much anymore. But it's also like, hey, some mistakes were made. All right, buddy, we're gonna try better in the future, but let's just not. You and me.
Hey,
eye contact.
Sometimes being friends with somebody is also telling them what they don't want to hear.
Yeah. He tells me it too. We've been there, done that. It's okay. I deal with it. So that's your favorite. You're the only thing you're taking away is the burnt cover flip off. Then
That's your
point. And then least favorite is design, and then I'm just talking about like in Don. So then what's the legacy? How do you think that these movies have made it harder to have Tremors movies today? Like, here's a series that was
the legacy for me is, unfortunately, they're for a Tremors reboot to really be successful, is they're gonna kind of have to be ignored because I'm not trying to be harsh there, but that's just what has to happen sometimes. And the fact that they were even like developed by a different studio makes that easier idea to swallow, because it's like, okay, that was just kind of like an offshoot little series, and it's like, and then but we're gonna go back to like, Stampede Entertainment, the original 4 Attack Pack films. Okay, those are canon, keep that, and we'll go on from there type of feel, right? So
okay,
it's
I like you said, I try to be nice, and it's still just like, no, though there's a different thing. That
doesn't mean those movies don't exist. They'll always exist.
No.
They'll always be there.
For me, there's actually things I do like in them. Like I can actually pick things out that I do like in all of them. I like the South Africa setting in Tremors 5. I actually like how that's used and stuff. 6, as much as I hate Jamie Kennedy, or I don't hate, I'm just ambivalent. I like how his character actually goes through a growth arc a little bit, tries to become more Burt Gummery. And then in 7, Richard Brake is my favorite fucking part of the movie, and then they kill him off. Like, he's the villain, and they kill him off, but I'm like, that guy is nuts in that movie, and he is chewing all the scenery, and I just fucking love it. So, like, there's things I love, too. I'm not gonna, I'll be honest, and then I have also 60 episodes of a podcast talking about things that I don't like, so that's not worth it right now. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. So, actually, this is a great point right here. So, if you haven't watched it, everybody go to, if you're listening to this podcast right now, turn it off. Pause it. And I need you all to go to the Fermented Cinema channel, Ian's channel, and look up a video called Denis Villeneuve's Tremors.
Yes.
All right. And Ian over here, it was all his own animation. He drew it all or whatever. And it did the, like, honestly, it's the epic way that you do the voices and shit that just, like, fucking gets to me. It's so fucking good. It's a hilarious video. It's like 2-minute long video. Go watch it. Just pause it. Take 2 minutes. Stop right now. And
2 minutes.
Go
it's
watch
all
it.
the epic. It's all the epic sweeping shots of a Denis Villeneuve film. And just like, are you really going to give up all this personal freedom?
Oh,
you'll be sorry if you don't give it a name.
Holy shit. It's hilarious. All right. But I love the concept. And we're talking about the Tremors 5, 6, and 7 and Ian's own sequels and all these things moving forward. So, like, let's say that Denis Villeneuve actually got handed Tremors. What does that movie, like, really look like? And don't do the obvious, like, okay, it's just Dune or whatever. Like, what's, like, that Denis Villeneuve, like, Tremors look like? What is that? What in your mind?
What would it look like? I think, say goodbye to all the comedic tone. That's for sure. It's going to be
movies. That's a good point.
It's going to be very dramatic. It's going to be a slow burn. It's going to be a slow burn with some intense sequences. That's for sure. It's going to be super widescreen, maybe IMAX. Yeah. And it's going to be kind of like, I can see the colors, right? There's going to be a lot of like deep oranges, a lot of sunset feel in this Tremors film. I got that. Yeah. I think it would be quite spectacular. It'd be absolutely wonderful. It'd be like, if you've ever been out in the desert on an early September evening, that's the feel in a bottle. Boom.
Okay. Note to self.
Yeah.
I haven't been. Well, I'll be there in October, and I'll make sure to like take a mental note of that in the desert.
Yes. And unfortunately, with that, I actually have to say goodbye because I have an appointment coming up. That I got to get to.
That was a good. I wanted to end on you, so that was perfect. And everybody that's been thanked before, I love you. You're great. I need Ian to bring us home on this one. Ian, give us some last words on Tremors. On you. Don't you even got to talk about Tremors. You can talk about you too. Plug yourself and all that jazz.
Last word on Tremors is I think we're all here because we love the greatest franchise that's ever existed. Tremors will always be my number one, followed by Terminator, which will be my number 2. And actually, that's another concept of thank you. I hope you enjoy it. That's another concept that I want to do for a video is called TVT. So T versus T. So I'm going to battle Terminator 1 versus Tremors 1, Terminator 2 versus Tremors 2, Terminator 3 versus Tremors 3, Terminator 4 versus Tremors 4, and I'm going to keep going and battle them. Which one is better? So this could be a spicy video, but it's going to be the TVT series. Yeah. So that's going to come out one day too. All these Tremors videos are going to come. Unfortunately, my channel is a slow burn. Again, it takes a lot of time to edit this content because I'm very editing intensive on my short format videos, and they take time. And also, I got the family at home I got to take care of first, and I got my day job I got to do first. So it slowly but surely, keep your eyes on that. Yes, exactly. The TVT month. Yes, that's what it's going. Oh my God. Wait 1 second. I got to mute the mic for 1 second.
You be inside everything.
There we go. That's better. There we go. I'm not gonna leave with the old rustled cowboy smoking.
Yeah,
I tell you, exactly. Let me tell you about them Tremors, kids. Yeah.
Back in my day.
Before all your bizarre portrait formatted TikTok videos, we had Tremors in my day, and it was fun.
You ever seen my giant underground worm, kid? Show you.
Them worms under the ground. So yeah. And I got lots of stuff going. Actually, my next video to come out is actually about Family Guy and Seth MacFarlane and American Dad to an extent, because everyone talks about how The Simpsons was like his jumping off board, his inspiration. But I stumbled upon an 8-episode sitcom from the mid-90s that was canned that, oh my God, it is literally, especially Stewie Griffin. Stewie Griffin and Roger the Alien came from this show.
Ooh.
So I'm going to be exposing that. I think that was the bulk of his inspiration. It's going to be, I'm not going to tell you the name of the show because I want you to tune in and find out. That should be ready, I think, by next week.
Ooh.
Yes.
Damn.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, also I'll be live streaming in October. I haven't set a date yet, but I will be live streaming Return of the Living Dead. One of the greatest horror movie, another great horror comedy film. Yeah. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I must rustle up some kids right now. There's 2 of them in the living room that need their papa to come play with for a second, and we're going to be heading out to the zoo. Yes. They love them petting zoos. They love meeting them chickens and them bunny rabbits. Yes. So, looking forward to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Levi, are you there?
I have to be quiet for this part because you're doing. Sorry.
All right.
You got it. No, you're fine. Keep going.
No. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. And it's time for me, to hit the dusty trail. All right, Levi, thanks for having me on, man.